Welcome back to America Right Now. I'm Tom Basile. Elon Musk has become somewhat of an improbable pro-freedom voice with his open opposition to unchecked borders and exposing militant COVID censorship and misinformation. He's even said the quiet part out loud about electric vehicles needing massive increases in power generation in the U.S. that our grid is presently not prepared to produce. But heralding the first chip implanted into the human brain as a great leap forward for technology might temper some of that conservative enthusiasm. Neuralink, as it is called, raises serious concerns about a host of issues impacting bioethics and personal freedom. Musk and other developers interested in cybernetic implants must be open to strict regulation of this technology, even if it means it won't be profitable or stunts its advance. Failure to address those issues in law and public policy could eviscerate society as we know it. The first version of Neuralink, called telepathy, allegedly enables people to control their phones and their computers or almost any device just by thinking. Musk, posting on X, said, quote, "Initial users will be those who have lost the use of their limbs. Imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or auctioneer. That's the goal. But the road to perdition is paved with good intentions. We're simply not mature enough, folks, as a species to even be remotely ready for this. And we won't be in 5 or 10 years either. The ability to control devices with thoughts sounds cool. But like the Borg in Star Trek, such technology could also be used to manipulate and monitor individuals or create a hive mindset."
We are the Borg. Resistance is futile.
We have already won. Locutus.
Without free will, folks, we are nothing but drones. Considering that tech companies already manipulate what users see and hear while selling your personal data, which they cannot keep secure from cybercriminals, the risks associated with implants are obvious. The goal of achieving some form of symbiosis with artificial intelligence is a threat to free will and participatory government. It's the kind of technology communists and authoritarians would love to exploit to control their populations and attack their enemies. To be fair, Mr. Musk isn't alone in advancing technology that could lead to a dystopian future for Americans and billions around the world. After all the psychological damage done by social media and increased screen time, online pornography, all substantiated by hard scientific data and anecdotal evidence, Apple and Meta are throwing out the science with new ways to sap the soul out of living. Leftist Mark Zuckerberg, who once asked Communist President Xi Jinping of China to name his unborn child, is dumping billions into the creation of his metaverse and Quest 3 goggles. He may be apologizing for the damage done by social media to young people.
Everything that you evolved into is incredible, and no one should have to go through the things that your families have suffered. And this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
But don't kid yourself. He's not nearly done doing damage yet. This immersive experience will have significant mental health impacts by ultimately allowing users to divorce themselves from reality through the creation of virtual lives and communities. The first version of the metaverse didn't exactly take off, but Zuckerberg is still investing heavily into the program, ultimately expect that it will be much more realistic and user-friendly. That will mean, as psychologists have already warned, more disassociation, more antisocial behavior, heightened negative emotion, addiction, and more anxiety. Expect the clever marketing that downplays the risks and the damage of the metaverse to make the misinformation campaigns of the marijuana companies look like little white lies. Apple's Tim Cook is now pushing Apple Vision Pro. These wearable screens create a physical barrier with the real world as well. Cook and Apple are also joined at the hip with communist China. Now, sure, they're going to tell you that it's all in fun, that it'll have great utility to make life more efficient, transport people to far-flung places, or help take education to a whole new level. But like any drug that impacts brain function, this will lead to more dependency and an overall deadening of the human spirit. Folks, We were meant to live in a three-dimensional world, our spirits fed by interactions with each other's physical presence. Both the Old and New Testaments reference the importance of our eyes, what we see, what we choose to see, how they express our emotions. They are windows to the soul. Barriers to that are bad. Americans should consider that Apple and Meta are too close to communist China to trust that these burgeoning new technologies will not lead to a further weakening of the nation and free will. We live in a world where we are already dumbing down society. We have to tell people that coffee is hot and not to eat Tide Pods. Our politicians can't agree on banning TikTok, an app controlled by communist China. But they need to take action now on these technologies. Tech titans, of course, will accuse elected officials of regulating so-called progress. But this isn't building a taller building or a faster car or a bigger supercomputer. These technologies reach into the very core of the human mind. They challenge the soul, and they can strip away the essence of living. To think otherwise is to be as ignorant of reality as these technologies could one day make all of us.